He goes for it. He got it.
Oh no.
Oh, there it is.
Big mistake.
Move knight takes g4. Oh man, it's on the board. It's
the best
right
thing
there.
in the world is when you predict a tactic before Hikaru plays it.
That's
not
right.
Because it's not possible to see tactics before Hikaru sees them.
That's
so
true.
The best you can do is say them before he plays them.
Yep. And when it's done, I mean, you feel great. Like you just, I know Danny's flexing real hard. Oh,
so somehow someone got a buy. Oh, that's what it is. So Alexander Predke, Grandmaster, hasn't played a lot of Rapid on chess.com apparently. So he got a buy as the lowest rated player. And that means Hikaru Nakamura versus Praggnanandhaa in the first round. This is epic. Is the highest rated player who's actually playing right now at the top of the leaderboard.
Could have played c4 first too, obviously, but should be fine. He's thinking for a long time here. I'm kind of surprised. Why is he thinking so long? He goes knight g4, you play c4, knight c3. I mean, this is all very standard.
Yeah, this is Hikaru's, you know, bread and butter, if you will, right? We see him play this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy necessarily yet. We have Prague playing this e5 break, which is kind of typical to try to challenge the dark square bishop on the diagonal, and you counteract the pin by moving the knight so that you don't lose the pawn. This is a pretty typical thing for black to do, but still, Hikaru has been in every possible dog and pony show that occurs from these B3 systems. He's been here. He's been here before.
He's been here before. In fact, there's Yakov Norwich actually likes to play this with white, and sometimes having what he calls this. What does he call this? The cheesecake or cheesecake King's Indian is what he likes to call this.
68 players. Predka, by the way, gets a buy in round, which 1800 gets a buy. That's actually very funny, I have to admit.
Cheesecake King's Indian.
I have never heard of it either, but it's from Yakov. This is what he likes, and his scores are very high for white, to say the least.
We see B6 been played there from Praggnanandhaa, and Hikaru pauses 10 seconds for calculation identification here on his network and wants to make sure he gets an advantage. I mean, you start to like these positions as they open up for white. The d5 square calling your name. Queen d2 was played to guard the bishop so that you could play this move without there being a discovered check to win the said dark square minister over there on b2. So I like knight d5 now. I like Hikaru's chances.
I mean, you look at the eval bar and the time as well. He's been in this position so many times. And actually, I remember reviewing files of looking at this from Yakov, where this was a very easy position for white to play. As you see, 30 seconds, barely even any time used for Hikaru here.
He's quite deep in the tank here, which I have to admit I'm a little surprised by. It was knight d7. Of course I trade. Of course I check. Played this line a million times already. That being said, f6 is a little bit cramped. I don't know if I like f6 that much. Knight f6 is also definitely fine. King g8's the obvious choice. I guess I just go here. I could have played bishop f3 too, maybe. But again, I mean, instinctively just looking at this should be very, very pleasant for me. He's also getting fairly low on time. I kind of wonder if Prague realizes a 10-0 and not 10+1 or 10+2, sorry, like it is on Sunday, because the amount of time that he's using here is just not very good. I guess I'll just go here. Why not? Just keep it very simple, because 620, I mean, this is getting very sketchy already. Let's see, what's he gonna do here? 6 minutes and counting. Still thinking. Let me take the cursor off the piece, of course, because we don't want to have another Title Tuesday mishap where I'm hovering over piece and then I have a horrible mouse up. So it goes a5. I expect that. Let's just go a3. Goes knight e5. Now that's interesting. Again, I mean, look, if I go b4, he probably has some rook a2, which I don't necessarily love. Now I mean, I can obviously go f4. Doesn't feel quite right. I mean, my instinct is to just go bishop f1. I don't know if it's the right move. It feels a little bit wrong, but at the same time, black really doesn't have many options here, it feels like. I mean, as long as I go h3 somewhere. Yeah, I'm just gonna go h3 to stop some knight g4, and then I'm gonna go b4 somewhere. I mean, if he goes c6 knight f4, I mean, it does play queen h4, but what does that actually even do? Because I have f4. I mean, he just has to go back to d8 now, and now it's kind of like, why did he even play it in the first place, is what I feel like. Oh, maybe I could have played g3 there, actually. Maybe g3 was a better move. Maybe.
Thanks for the content.
Actually, I think that was a much better move. Why didn't I do that? Okay, let's just go back. Again, this is 10 plus 0, so because it's okay, it does it now. I think g3 is wait a second. G3.
JC Wintermute just subscribed. Thanks for the
knight f3 king. Yeah, this should be fine because now I have bishop g2 is the point. And once I get bishop g2 and I get the fianchetto, I feel like I'm doing really well here. It just feels like black's just too cramped, honestly. Because knight f3 I go king g2 and then I have knight f6 and it's Disasterville USA with the fork. So yeah, I think he has to go back to d8. Queen g5 bishop g2 I guess is another way to play it, but it doesn't really look very appetizing. Yeah, okay, he goes to g5, so I just fianchetto. Not really all that shocking. And he still now he has to worry about f4, so he takes. Now the big question is, do I take with the pawn or do I take with the rook here? My instinct is to take with the pawn, so I'm going to take with the pawn here. Okay, he goes knight d7. Okay, I think I go b4, lock the weak pawn on c7 here. I mean, it feels unpleasant, and he's also got no time. This is the other big. Whoa, wait a second, Pragg. Did Pragg just blunder f4? Queen e3 king. I mean, that is a blunder, I believe. f4 queen f5 g4 is good. Queen g3 queen f6 rook e3 queen g5. I mean, that should be winning. I mean, it looks good. Queen g5 trade rook e5 h4 and then bishop. I mean, it looks right, so yeah, let's go for it. He has to take. I take because queen f5 g4 and he loses material anyway. And then takes queen. I mean, this looks great for me. Okay, so I take, of course. Takes, of course. I go to the light square to dodge like any kind of weird dark square nonsense. And I mean, objectively, I should just be winning here. But we will see. Is there anything he can really do here to complicate matters? I mean, even rook e7, rook e1. It all looks good, so let's move it again. Very important when you're playing slower games, move the cursor or the mouse off the board, because that way you avoid any kind of weird mouse loops. Okay, rook e4. Very creative move by Pragg, by the way. Very creative move. Now rook takes c7 probably wins. I mean, it's definitely a very good move. It's just a question whether it's the best move. I can also go rook e1 here to force the end. Oh no, rook e1 he does have queen f4. Never mind. So rook f1, rook b4. Yeah, let's see. Now again, this is almost certainly winning with correct play. I just have to play this precisely. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go rook c7, queen d8. Yeah, this looks good. So I go queen d8 check, take the rook. I mean, yeah, I go check, I take. See what he does here. And for chat, obviously, a bunch of people probably wondering, well, you know, his rook was hanging on e4. Why didn't you take? If I had taken, there would have been a repetition with the queen checking my king. So that would have been a very big mistake. Yeah, I guarantee there are people in chat who are like, that rook was hanging on e4. Why didn't you just take that rook on e4? Okay. Now my assumption is that this pass d pawn is just too fast. That's my assumption here. So he takes that one, which I guess I kind of expected, although I don't know, not really actually. The more I look at this, I guess I Actually making a little bit of a mess out of this, maybe. Okay, let's take this. Let's go here, I guess, because this way I can push the pawn and the queen guards the backwards diagonal. Very, very important that the queen is guarding this diagonal, and the pawn thrusts the end of the board. And again, with the big time edge, I should win this pretty cleanly here. Yeah, rook f3 I saw, but I think after d6, oh, d6 doesn't actually work. I thought d6 was winning. Little bit careless by me, just a little bit careless. Yeah, d6 might be winning, but of course that would be insane to play, so I assume I just go queen c2, but let me think. Check king e1, check block. Yeah, somehow I've made this a touch unpleasant. Like, it's still probably it still is winning, I think. Yeah, it's still winning. I just go here, but yeah, this is not really how I was supposed to play it. If he checks, I go king e1, king d2. I mean, he gets a bunch of pawns, but he's also got no time. That's the other problem for Pragg, is that this is 10-0. There's no increment. That's actually the biggest problem here. If there is increment, he might have some outside chance at surviving this, but with no increment, I mean, it's just not gonna happen. Okay, he goes rook f6, which I think is a fairly serious mistake. I think he had to take and hope that he could save it, but now, oh, if I go d6 takes, he has check and queen e5. Very sneaky little boy, very sneaky. But I can go queen b2 and pin the rook and the queen, and this is actually game over. So I have rook f1 and I have d6, d7, d8, and that'll be all she wrote. He resigns. We get the big dub. 1 up, 1 down. 1 up, 1 down. Very, very good. Okay, we're playing Durarbayli now. He is a very solid player, but again, I don't really know what the score that's going to win is, so I'm gonna play it a little bit loosey goosey here. Okay, we'll just play, I guess we'll just get a classic Dutch. Okay, we'll just get a classic Dutch. Okay, so it's castle. Now again, it is 10+0, so I do always want to keep that in mind. Castles. Okay, so he plays b3. This is of course a very solid approach. Trying to remember which line I want to play. There's so many different ways to play against this is black. Knight e4 is definitely one of them. Queen a5 is another one to play. I know it's not actually a very good move, but I'm going to play it anyway. Now we know how it usually works out when I'm going to play something anyway. It generally doesn't work out very well, but I don't care. Let's do it. Forget who I had this against. Actually, on b3, I think maybe e5. e5 is actually a move here, I think. Although I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, he goes knight b2, which is what I expected. I can play like knight e4 here, which I think is what I'm going to do, just to take more of the center at least. Let's take with the pawn. What am I drinking? Yeah, so I'm drinking, people were asking this during the game also. This is a Synergy Raw Kombucha. Does trade. I mean, e5 is okay. The only question is, do I actually want to play it? And you know what? I don't care. I literally don't care. So let's play it. This might be a bad move, by the way, but I honestly, I don't know. I don't care. And you just play chess. End of the day, chess is a game, and you got to treat it like a game.
100 just took $5 out of Bezos's pocket. Thanks.
Let's pre-move this. Goes bishop c3. Now that's actually a very surprising move to me. It's not a move that I like either, by the way. I really don't like bishop c3. Because yeah, he gets c5, but I get bishop e6 and knight d7, and I just think he actually improved my queen position, and he put his bishop on a square where it doesn't belong. Yeah, he goes there, but I mean, I can play e4. I mean, I can also play knight a6. I can also just go bishop e6, frankly. But then maybe his e4. Maybe his e4 there. f4, knight f3. Knight d7, knight g5, bishop g4. h3, h6. Interesting. I can play e4 and it'll be a draw, but let's play it a little bit looser. Let's try to be more aggressive here. This might be bad, by the way. This could actually be bad, but I don't see it right off, so I'm gonna go for it. And it is what it is, basically, is my attitude in this game.
All right, so this structure, though, one of the issues with the Dutch is that this type of space advantage, while nice, came at a cost, which is it opened up the light squares and typically the diagonal that matters most to the Black King. And usually you get away with pawn storms when you have the potential for that space to turn into an attack or something aggressive on the king side. But the Fianchetto system is super solid. That's why you take a snapshot. Not only is white better here, I would argue that regardless of the fact that it's rapid, so it's hard to say Nakamura isn't the favorite, white is even more better, that's correct, than the engine says. These positions are really hard for black to not get in trouble at some point with this space advantage, wishing pawns could go backward.
Absolutely. I think here the problem is how do we make the progress? Like you'll see sometimes in the Maraxi bind positions where white does get a very nice bind, and then sometimes not knowing how to proceed, which of course nowadays you do stick the knight on d5, which is in game. But in this situation, pushing the pawns, as Danny mentioned, chat, like we can't go backwards. So e4 and f4, we want to go f4, but then he might go e4. If we go e4, he might go f4. So you actually can't break, and black's plan is actually developing. Knight d7, there it is, knight f3, wow.
And so the idea, I think, is on knight to d7, you have knight to g5. So that's actually a really irritating move, because how are you guarding the e pawn? I guess you have to play e4. But that's what we're talking about. Now we're expanding, right? Whether this knight goes to g5 or d4 on e4, that pawn eventually gets pried open with, oh, he played it, but that allows knight g5.
I guess he just says he doesn't care. It's like, whatever, the bishop's bad, but it wasn't. I mean, we snatched that bishop.
I mean, Hikaru can play this way, but we shouldn't, we should definitely, acknowledge the reality is white's better here. The bishop pair is a ton of fun. The light squares are no bueno. So it'll be interesting to see whether Durarbayli can keep an edge here. He's already down almost 2 minutes on the clock, though.
I'm a big fan of knight takes, e4. Open up the game. Knight takes, play e4, he plays f4, bishop h3, and just start hitting him. And then literally start hitting him. It's getting spicy, right? I like a little
the only thing I would say is, like, where you going over here, big fella, right? So I would even induce I like rook d1 first, Canty, because then in your line, something random happens. I can take and e4, f4. Now we shake and bake, right?
Nice. You had a little rook d1, a little patience there. Chat. E4, even more. But I mean, it's not, you still need rook d1.
He goes for your idea, but I almost wish he was a little more patient here than.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
F4. Here you go. So still, with rook d1 now it's bishop g4, but f3. Yeah. Rook d1 anyway. Like that's still good.
Yep.
The knight c5, yeah, bishop b4. Rook d1 is a move. Rook a d1, get the last piece of the game.
Oh, but he blunders with rook d1. I think that's a mistake, because now I can play here in h6. That's actually a fairly serious mistake. He should have just traded, because now f3, h6, and it gets messy again, I think. Or not. Or maybe I shouldn't have done this at all. Maybe I actually only helped him. Was bishop f3? Wow. That feels very wrong to me somehow. That just doesn't seem right. Doesn't mean I have any quick way to take advantage of it. It feels very kind of wrong. Somehow it seems wrong. Huh. I mean, I can play fg3 at any moment if I want to. I don't really want to, though. Knight c5, bishop b4, b6 maybe is a way to play it also. I can also go a5 followed by knight c5 maybe. What is the actual threat, I guess, is the question. Okay, h6 is not right. Rook f7 maybe. Knight g5, rook e7, gf4, ef4. I think this is okay. I'm going to play it to start with. I'm just going to play this to hold all the glue. Now knight c5, there's no bishop b4 pin. And if he goes back, I'll just go rook e7 or rook f6 for that. Actually, no, rook maybe I just go probably rook e7. He goes king g2, which I think is way too tentative. I go h6, idea g5, cut off knight g5 now. He's being way too tentative here. I mean, this could get very ugly for white very, very quickly with like a g5, g4 even. Goes there. Again, that's not a move that I really understand because I always have c5 if I need it. I also have rook e6, frankly. So I think I'm just going to go here. Because I always have c5 later if I need it. I always have g5 if I need it. I also have knight f6, knight e4 maybe if I need it as well. So there are a lot of options. Now I can play a5. I can also go c5 here. Question is, how do I play this for the win? a5 seems like a pretty decent move, so I'm gonna play it. Because now if he goes here, maybe even b5. Oh, but that's not ideal, I guess. Oh, whatever. Let's just play b5. Let's just go for it. b4 traps the bishop. I have knight c5 maybe at some point. I have queen b7 maybe. I have g5 maybe. Not so clear cut for white. I really don't like this bishop b4 a3 idea. Just doesn't seem like the bishop's on the right diagonal. It's on this empty diagonal, and if he has to retreat it, it also really doesn't make much sense either. So I feel like Durarbayli's made some mistakes here. Doesn't mean like I'm winning or anything, but I think as time gets lower and he's got these kingside issues he has to always worry about, it's going to become easier for me to play than it will be for him to play. Let's see what he's going to do here. Okay, he goes rook c1, which I expected, but now e4 is soft too, and b4. Okay, so he goes queen e2, which I actually kind of expected. I guess I'll play g5 here to threaten g4 and f3. And this is the reason it's dangerous, because now there are a lot of problems here to deal with. I mean, you have to confront so many different things. I mean, maybe you can go knight d2. Again, with everything massing here, I don't feel like he's played this correctly, though. Doesn't mean I'll win, but it should be much easier for me to play than for him to play. So he plays g4, which gives me... Oh, he's got knight d2, f3, rook f3 or something. Okay. Fair. If I go b4, I don't like that. So let's go here, target the pawns. Has to go to d2 as expected. I guess I'll play h5, target the pawn. Plays h3 as expected. I don't feel like I've actually... Oh wait, there's a rook d8 that I didn't even see. Yikes. Actually, I kind of misplayed this move. Okay, let's take. I guess I'll go here because I want to put pressure on these two pawns. Because he's still low on time, low-ish. I don't want to push b4 yet because then I give him the c4 square for the pony. So I'm trying to keep the pawn on b5 to like want the knight jump to c4. Knight has no squares here, so very, very tricky position to play for both sides. But the fact that time is in my favor should be beneficial. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go here and rook d8. I'm gonna play this very, very basic. Somehow I need to get this knight. This knight on f6 is not where it needs to be somehow. It's just staring at pawns that are guarded. So somehow I have to find a better square for my knight. Maybe I trade go rook d8 and try to reroute somehow, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I can obviously play rook d8. I can also not play rook d8, but I think rook d8 should be right. Rook d8, force the trade. Also, now I can take with the knight, though, which is kind of tricky, because if I take with the knight... No, but then he has queen c4. If I take, he has a4, takes queen c4, and I'm just getting absolutely wrecked. If I take with a queen, target the knight. Now, what I need to do is somehow I need to reroute. I just don't know whether I go which way I go.
Hikaru still has some things to figure out, and you still see the potential long-term problems with the Duchess, even though the position has closed up. These pawns are in many ways targets to a well-played approach for white. So rapid, practical games, very difficult to get super technical, and we see the 2 minutes on the clock. Probably not Durarbayli's favorite spot, but objectively, white is doing fine here even now.
Absolutely. As he's thinking, or as Hikaru's thinking here, what is white's plan? I would say maybe b5's hanging, e5's hanging, and trying to get this rook active. Okay, he said give us the pawn for activity.
I think you have knight g4. Look at that.
Wow, bro.
If bishop e5, knight g4, bishop...
that boy ready for the SCC. That's nasty.
Full
That boy ready
tactic.
for the SEC. Oh, snap. Dang.
And actually, Hikaru with the D file here, and some problems tactically. This is a really good move because it restricts the knight, who can't go back to D2.
He goes for it. He got it.
Oh no!
Oh, there it is.
Big mistake.
Move. Knight takes G4. Oh man, it's on the board. It's
The best
right
thing
there.
in the world is when you predict a tactic before Hikaru plays it.
That's
Not
right.
because it's not possible to see tactics before Hikaru sees them.
That's
so
true.
the best you can do is say them before he plays them.
Yep. And when it's done, I mean, you feel great. Like you just, I know Danny's flexing real hard, right? Y'all don't see it, but Danny flex. Rook C7.
Rook C7.
Oh, we about to send him to heaven. Here it go. Here it go.
What is it? What is it? Is it?
It's probably 93. Queen D1 looks good.
Yeah, 93 looks actually fantastic. I think you're right. 93 first. What's funny?
93 King H2 though.
But I have a crazy idea, Candy. 93 King H2, Bishop E5, Rook D7, Rook D7, and I'm threatening Rook H2.
Oh man, there's mate over there.
It's probably unnecessary.
Oh,
That's
I
my
would
problem.
love that
I sack
though.
queens.
I know. I'm a
prematurely.
fan. I'm a fan, bro. I mean, look, Grandfather Tao said sack first, think later. So I'm a big fan.
But it actually isn't bad, by the way, because if King H2, Bishop E5, Rook D7, if you play Knight D2, there's Rook D2 and Knight F1. So white is like, oh, okay. Hikaru says no, Dan.
He just sidestep. Yeah, where's the Rook G7? He don't even care about that.
Dude,
that
he just allows Rook G7?
Bro, that's 2700 stuff, right? I'm not gonna lie. That's very scary to allow that to happen. He allowed it to happen and just completely winning still.
That's a mind-blowing move.
That is yeah, go ahead, take it, bro. Yeah, no, it's check. No, it's cool, bro. It's cool. Let him check it.
Queen Ace. Oh wait, no, this is mate. What? Checkmate. Check and mate. It's just checkmate. Whew. Okay, 2 out of 2. Good start. Good start. Very good start. This game was very weird. I thought I was better, then I thought I was worse, then I thought I was like better again. Very, very strange. Now I get Amin here in round number 3. What do I want to play against Amin? I'm going to play Knight F3. I'll take it a little bit in a different route. Now he won against Alexandra, so it's payback time. I gotta help her out because he should not have won that game against her. Now he likes Bishop F5, so I'm gonna play E3 to stop this. Yeah, he likes to go Bishop F5, E6, C6, all that jazz, and I'm not in the mood for that today. He plays there, so I'm gonna go Queen C2 to change it up a little bit. I think both cams are on. Let me check. Yeah, both cams are up. Good, there we go. All right, Knight BD7. So he wants to play for E5. I mean, I guess I can still go D4 here. I guess D4 or Knight C. Maybe I can even take and play Knight C3. Oh. I guess I'll play D4. Why not? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go B3, Bishop B2. Play one of these very old lines. One of these really, really old lines that I haven't looked at in a very, very long time. Go here. I could have played C5 too, maybe, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna play Bishop D3. This is all pretty normal so far. Nothing really crazy going on yet. Go Knight E5. If takes, he loses H7.
San Antonio Rick just subscribed.
Bishop B4. I just go Knight D2, of course. Everything looks pretty standard so far. But the thing is, black actually is lacking in moves because he can't push the B pawn. Like, he'd love to go here and fianchetto the bishop, but he can't push because he loses. So this is weak. So he can't push the pawn. He can't trade. He actually is a little bit out of moves. Now he plays H6. Now the question is, do I go F4 here? Do I castle? Do I play Knight D2? There's so many options. H3 is actually a very logical move. But I'm trying to think about Knight D2. Takes, Knight G4, Knight F3. F6 takes, Knight G6. F5. No, I don't actually believe this. I think Knight F3, and I think I'm actually just better. Oh, he's got Bishop A3 though, which I forgot about. Okay, so I guess in that case, and I can obviously go Bishop C3. I can also trade and play F4. I don't want to play this, so I'm gonna play F4. Makes sense to trade first and then castle. always just trade and go f4, f4 c5. Again, this is 10-0. Like I have to remember that actually. This is 10-0, not 10-1. So I kind of have to just make some moves. I guess I'll take. Actually, yeah, this is 10-0, so I can't go too deep into the tank here. If this is 10 I guess I'll take and go here. If this is 10 plus 2, I could definitely use more time, but in 10 plus 0 I just have to kind of move. I actually don't have time here. I think what I did isn't quite right either. This is not what I should have done. So he takes, which is also kind of surprising to me. So I'm gonna take. I mean, he's got to go c5 and then I castle.
Out of Bezos's pocket. Thanks.
Actually a little surprised by Amin playing this. Just a little bit surprised. I mean, it's obviously completely fine for black objectively, but it feels like maybe I can get some play here somehow. Now I'm not going to take. I'm going to castle, of course, and I'll take with the. I guess I'll take the hanging pawns. I don't really love them, but I think it's the right play. Let's go here and here. I have rook fd1 and bishop h7, of course. Or do I go ad1? Oh wait, no, there's bishop a4. Oh my. Oh yeah. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Wow, that would have been really poor by me. Maybe I can go here. Yeah, rook fd1, bishop a4, and I just resign. That would have been really bad. And it's good because the reason I spotted that was because I'm debating the rooks. Like I almost just played this and I'm like, wait, which rook goes there? And luckily in that split second when I was thinking about which rook belongs on d1, I saw bishop a4, thankfully. There goes bishop e4 to trade some bishops. Reasonable move. Reasonable move, but actually do I have to trade even? I don't think I even have to trade. But if I don't trade, what am I actually playing for? So I guess I'll go here, target the knight, target the pawn. Okay, rook d1 seems completely fine. Discards the pawn. That was very close to a huge disaster. Thing is, maybe I can actually go g4 h4 at some point, maybe to play g5, maybe. It feels kind of very suspect at some point, but again, if I get rook d3, rook g3, I mean there are actual mate threats, so maybe I can actually play for more than just equality here. Maybe I can actually try to claim an advantage. Feels like there should be no edge here, but maybe I can claim something. Ba-dum.
Mr. Kahitra just took $5 out of Bezos's
Okay, so
pocket.
he's thinking for quite a while on this move. Trying to think what I'm playing for exactly here. Like I feel like I'm playing in the center of the board and that's all that I have. Does that. I mean, I guess I go rook d3, target the queen. I mean, he can go queen b2, I suppose. I'm actually just assuming that doesn't work. I'm assuming he's not a computer. So I bet a computer goes queen b2, queen a2 and says, who cares about whatever you're trying to do on the king side, and nobody cares. But for a human to do that, I think is a little bit suicidal. I think you'd have to be a little bit out of your mind to play like that. Oh, he does it. Wow. Okay, so he actually does it. I'm kind of shocked by that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually very surprised to see that. Okay, so now I just have to think about where my rook belongs. I can also go rook d1, which is kind of funny. I can also just go back and then play for rook b1. Do I play like a computer? Do I play like a good old humano? My instinct is to play like a humano and just try to kill him on the king side. That's just my instinct. It feels right, but he does have rook c4 there at the end. It feels right, but you know what? I'm just gonna take it safe. I'm gonna be a little bit safe, because if I lose this game, I don't really know what the qualifying score is in this with this field. They're like double the players, and I don't really know what the qualifying score is, so it's probably not right to go for an all or none in round 3 is my guess. Just my guess. I don't know, like I it's gonna be very interesting after the game to look at this, but my instinct says that it's better to not get too chirpy here and gamble too much. Again, we'll see what he does. I mean, I'm up a minute on the clock, which is useful here. Now I can play a4. I can also play f3 maybe. He wants queen e4, which I totally understand. I can also just go rook e2. I don't really like f3, but I think it's a decent move, so I'm just gonna play it. I just want to take away queen e4. That's all I'm angling for. Just stop queen e4. Now maybe I can go a4, maybe rook c1, maybe rook d2, but you just kind of play chess here and you just let the game flow. I also have g4 h4 as well at some point now, although probably not ideal. It's under 6 minutes. Yay! We're getting a little bit low on time.
Swole RNX2 just took $5 out of Bezos's pocket. Thanks.
What are you gonna do here? He goes queen a4, which I also don't particularly like as a move. I mean, I guess his idea is to play like queen e8 or something, or b5 maybe. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna go here, target the pawn. Now I can play g4 h4 if I want to. It doesn't really feel right. D5 is not a move either, so I guess I'll just go here. I'm just gonna be solid here. Just be rock solid. Not the time to get too crazy. I mean, g4 h4 is always looming. Yeah, he's trying to go knight d7, which makes a ton of sense. Now is there anything I can actually do here? Not really. Rook e1 maybe. I guess I'll do it anyway because I can play d5. Although he's got b5 too, I just realized. Just petering out towards a draw, unfortunately. Oh, whatever. Let's just go. A draw is okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm not thrilled by it, but it's not the end of the world. He takes? Wait a second. Oh, I assumed I had something here. I don't, of course. Of course I've misplayed this. Shoot. Actually, this is... Am I in real trouble here? Wait a second. This was very poor by me. Oy, oy, oy. I take and take. Very careless by me. It's still okay, but this is not what I wanted at all. Rook c1, king f2, king g3, I guess. A little bit on edge. A little bit on edge in this position. The only good thing though is that I do have a pass pawn, so I go here. But can't I go d6? And king g3? I mean, check king g3. I feel like Amin is starting to misplay this a little bit. If I get this pawn to d7, I'm winning this game. I also have rook e7 now. I think Amin made a big mistake here. I don't know if he thought he had some kind of way to win here, but he made a pretty big mistake. I suspect black can still draw this with correct play, but I don't think that it's going to be easy anymore. And he's getting down 330 and ticking. I mean, what is his move here exactly? I saw that, but I thought I could still go like d7 maybe. King h4. Yeah, I still don't understand what he's doing. I mean, I think he's actually just losing. He has a check and then I just sidestep and I go rook e8, and I mean, he's just completely misplayed. I mean, even queen g4 is actually just winning because I have rook de2, I think.
All right, here we got something spicy. Hikaru on a king walk, but d7 lives. d7 is real.
Ooh, I like it. And white just has all the play here. Hikaru with 2, trying to close in on a 3 mark here. Definitely, as this rook on d8 is just not going to be, it's just not going to cut it.
Was it Kirkwood who the first sub was?
Yeah, somebody else saying that. I'll see right here, Kirkwood. Say Kirkwood.
For those of you who don't know Kirkwood, then you don't go far enough back. Kirkwood is no longer works at chess.com, but still a great friend, and not just of chess in the company, but shout out to Mr. Matt Lodge. We know where you're at, chilling somewhere like a villain, crushing it. But yeah, Kirkwood, it could have been Matt. That's so funny. That makes sense. That adds up. Okay, the king is actually safe on h3, which is really funny because this is the kind of stuff that I think Hikaru does better than almost anybody in the world. Like the things where you say, oh, you just can't do that. We all have those moments in calculation. You can't do where you dismiss a move because you just assume, okay, that's not going to happen. Right. And then it's like, oh no, actually the king is totally safe on h3. And that's probably, exactly what Tabatabaei was experiencing when he went for this line, right? Hikaru's like, actually, the D pawn is more important, and my king is totally safe over here.
And as you see, I mean, there's nothing anymore. And now, after the dust settles, I have more than you. The D7 pawn about the queen. Queen E7 is about to end the game. F7's hanging. Everything hanging. Everything must go sail, and it's going to be a wrap. Queen E7, Queen F5 check.
Yeah, if Queen E7, Queen F5, you can play King G3, and there's actually Queen G6, though. Oh, no, there's no Queen G6, so there's no more check.
Wait, you're right. That's it.
So the question is the rook ending enough to win, though, Candy? Because if Queen E7, Queen F5, King G3, Queen G5, the ladies depart. And actually, I don't know if that's winning for white, because black has the 2-on-1.
He does. What's
so
going to happen here? That's completely losing now. Oh, Rook C...
Rook C6.
Yeah, Rook C6, Rook C8.
I think that's it. Rook C6, Rook C8. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake, stick and move. Get him out of there.
Yep. Magic Man. El Diablo. If we were racing cars together, who would be Magic Man? Who would be El Diablo?
You know what? I would be Diablo.
Oh, man. I'll take Magic Man. Okay, Rook to C8 is coming. Actually, Tabatabaei is going to lose. Hikaru will move to 3 of 3, predictably.
Oh, wait. There's Queen E7.
Yeah, but now you have this move, Queen. Oh, no, but then King F8. Okay, hold on. It's not over.
Right.
I'm wrong. Oh, if King F8, Queen D6, the king has to go back.
And then I guess we just do nothing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Push and walk the king around.
Is that the win? You got to go on a journey?
Wait a second. Yeah, maybe. I mean, because his pawns are going to be annoying, right? A5 is an adventure, right? That's a
Frodo's got nothing on this walk to Mordor. I mean, geez, that would be if that's the win. What is he doing with F6? Actually, that's interesting because it cuts off the queen.
Wow. Jeez, 2700. Yikes, F6. That was big boy Devereski right there.
This is a good lesson, though, that even if you're defending what seems like a really hopeless queen ending, never give up, because the queen is the best at swindling a perpetual at the last second, right? Like, this is not easy to figure out the right plan. At some point, black maybe has an idea to, release the Kraken and go for something. So Hikaru has to be very precise.
In every way.
Although, look how good this is now, Kenny. King F8 no longer worked because now Queen C5 could be played, followed by Queen C8.
Oh,
instead of Queen D6. So Hikaru is really playing this well. I think now he'll go for King G4 or A4. And the point is, the king can never touch F8 because now the idea is better than Queen D6. So he's almost in like a Zugzwang.
Beautiful. And that F6 move was brilliant here. Right, Zugzwang, A4 here. King is going to step up. I'm going to approach. Man, this is a masterclass.
This is so instructive.
It's so nice because you get to learn this stuff, right, Danny? And we just sit here and we just take it all in and commentate. And I'll be telling people, look, this is free lessons. And if you're watching at home, this is free lessons for you as well, if you take it in the right way. This is amazing technique here.
No, totally. And now he'll take with the king. And this check is nothing. You can just back up. But it's really interesting to see the flexibility that white has. As long as you keep the queen in the center in these endgames, you really increase all your options, full board power. And I really like how Hikaru improved that position with not just the f6 pawn sacrifice to limit the queen's ability to do things like this, but also just create more weaknesses. This is, I mean, somebody clip it and ship it. This is an endgame lesson. I'm not going to study it later because I'm lazy, but you should.
Exactly, right? You should go study this because this was stunning, to be honest. He gets the king around.
Dude, he's got the H pawn now if he's really into it.
Right. I mean, look at the queen been on D8 how long?
Actually,
queen can never move.
I feel like he should have played G4 first because then king G7, he had G5. Hikaru was going to win anyway, but I think G4 was a little more accurate.
G4, H4, everything 4. G5 and we live?
G5 and we live? I don't know. Actually, then you have H6. I love it. G5 takes H6.
G5
I think it's your move, dude. Canty calls it. Canty calls it. You can take F6 with anything now, and you actually open up new problems on G7, right? So if you take here, that's funny. Talk about pointing out that the pawn is pinned by opening up a mate problem.
Oh, now he moved the queen. Maybe just queen E4.
I think he'll probably just take with the king first.
Oh, yeah, he just king takes.
If queen F3, king E7.
E7, yeah.
You don't, I mean, where's the next check, right? Although your move is, this is really nice too. But if he goes queen D8, what's next? I guess queen E8.
Annoying.
Okay, yeah. Anything wins.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hikaru for the endgame lesson. We appreciate it.
That's right. Thanks, chat. Thank you. What's up, T Zeta?
Just goes and gets another queen. Dirty dog.
Dirty dog. It's a family channel. What up, Kila? Yeah, family channel here. Check. Check. And
you're getting all kinds of
check.
love in the chat, Canty.
Yeah,
they love it. They love the predictions. You're a beautiful man, Canty.
You know what? I appreciate it. You know, look, I try to. You said that. You know, y'all said that, man.
Right? Because he can still move the pawn, so there's no stalemate. There's no stalemate because the pawn can always move as well. Go here. Yeah, there's no stalemate because the pawn can always move. That's probably the single most important point to remember. So let's go here. Let's block, and now I just move the king with check. Yep, check. GG. Oof, another win, 3 out of 3. Good stuff. I definitely misplayed that. I think that was just winning. Let's see. Was this just winning here? This was just winning. And then yeah, queen c6 first, of course. I'm just so terrible at chess. Queen c6 just wins on the spot. But then I do this, and I mean, I guess it's still winning, but that's so bad by me. Oh, maybe it's still. Oh, is this really still just that bad? It's still just that losing? Fair enough. But yeah, queen c6 was game over because then he has to go here, trade, and then I make the double queen, and the queens cover the diagonals like I alluded to in my analysis. But I just forgot because here if king f8, then I believe I'm winning with queen c. Yeah, queen c7. If he takes, he loses, and there's no king e7. And if he checks, I just block. King is very safe. You lose the game. Absolutely horrible play by me. Because then when I do the wrong order, what happens is that after takes here, now queen c8, there's king e7. He actually is in time to hold everything. So, I mean, I still get the win, but I'm not very happy with my performance at the end of that game. At any rate, we got the win. We moved to 3 out of 3. Let's see who else is on 3. Okay, 3 other people. Okay. There's a GM with a 22-25 rating on 3 out of 3. No, there was no stalemate at the end because his pawn on f6 can always capture the pawn on g5. That was the one thing I was thinking about when he played queen a8. It's like there's always pawn captures pawn, and he also has a pawn behind on f7 that can move as well.